In 2018, Japan-based service provider Rakuten Mobile surprised the industry by announcing a revolutionary approach to building its new network, using multiple infrastructure from multiple partners to create an open cloud-native operation. Last August, it launched Rakuten Symphony, a new business organization to spearhead the global adoption of cloud-native Open RAN infrastructure and services. It's now ready to take the next steps with an innovative new platform to help other telecom operators scale their networks with a suite of next-generation network software apps. But what exactly is Rakuten Symphony hoping to achieve? And why does CEO Tareq Amin believe his company has the magic sauce necessary to succeed? Well, I'm delighted to say that Tareq Amin joins us today from Tokyo. Tareq, very good to see you again. I'm not the only one who's been following Rakuten's progress intently in recent years, so too has the whole industry. What's your roadmap going forward?
Well, I think we have a lot of responsibility on our shoulders. I mean, the first thing that I really would love to see is the adoption and the guidance that I look for the industry as a whole is how do we make Symworld the de facto app store? How do we open it up to third-party developers? I mean, I would love nothing else but to see a thriving ecosystem of open source communities that would come in to help us materialize, accelerate, and help us change this industry for the better. You know, I was, frankly speaking, the other day I was sharing with someone a keynote that I did 4 years ago when I came to Japan. That was my first week in Japan. And I had one slide, and my slide started with this, conversation. And it said, you look at the world that we live in, you look at what COVID has forced us to do, and the dependencies and the criticality that we all have on connectivity. Yet, we still have over 2 billion people across this planet that don't have basics of connectivity. An aspiration goal for Symphony is to fast-pace industry transformation, work with our partners, maybe for the better of the industry to help a social responsibility to lower the costs and the burdens that goes with infrastructure. Those are big aspiration goals. We all know how big the path in front of us is going to be, or the challenges, but we are absolutely committed to take this on. I think it is a journey that is for all of us in Rakuten Symphony and Rakuten as a whole. We absolutely believe that the journey that Symphony is on is one that's going to enable sustainability for society, sustainability for industry, and I hope through industry collaboration, we'll be able to be recognized as a software platform company helping industry to fast pace their transformation.
Well, a few final points for you, Tareq. It's a competitive industry, we know this, and you'll always hear reasons why something new is just not possible or not feasible. So let me put quickly a few of those to you, and I'll start with this one, that this approach is simply not yet ready for prime time.
Well, I mean, let's take it in the same context. When I heard that Open RAN will not work in dense urban areas, again, these comments for me, it never bothered me or our team. But what we had to do, we had to show that we could build, a resilient architecture that is able to serve the most demanding. And believe me, nobody understands this. Maybe people in Japan will realize this. The most demanding consumers I have ever seen in life is the Japanese consumer. They tolerate zero quality issues. And if you have any quality issues, they will absolutely go on Twitter and let you know how they feel. So we knew that the bar was very high. Now, when we took this idea, I never accepted that this technology has no merit in urban environment. Tokyo is one of the densest in life. And yet, when we say it's not ready for prime time, I would say Tokyo is ready for prime time. This technology is absolutely ready for prime time. And so my feeling is, I think now we have proven that we are running a network at scale. We carry unbelievable amount of data in this network. And my fundamental belief was always just believe in software, believe in cloud, and it's just going to get better. It will always get better. Simple analogy, look at the desktop PCs that you use, whether it is a Windows or Mac. what happened from the early 90s till today. Software get evolved and it get better, and it will continue to get better because that's the nature of the software business. So my honest opinion, I do think that this technology stack is absolutely been validated. It's ready to go global. And an example of this is absolutely the trust that 1&1 in Germany have given Rakuten Symphony. And we cannot wait to show the capability of the technology and the performance of our stack, not also in Japan, but also in an unbelievable, high quality country like Germany.
Yes, looking forward to seeing some results from there, like the rest of the industry is. And as well as questioning the readiness, some may think that this multi-vendor approach is simply not as secure.
I have a very contradicting point of opinion on this. I actually think the current architecture is not secure. And allow me to elaborate a little bit on my thoughts. When you purchase platforms and boxes that are completely locked, have proprietary interfaces, you are basically outsourcing your trust to a vendor and say, you will be secure because I'm going to sign a contract with you, and you're going to tell me that you are secure. In the case of Rakuten Symphony and the technology it delivered to Rakuten Mobile and its global customers, the first thing that we do, all the way from the supply chain, understanding the components and the infrastructure that we use in anything that we build as hardware and appliances for this technology, we are one of the few that have ensured where these components are manufactured, where are they purchased from, where is the supply chains of these components come from. So that was a big issue. The issue is about securing not just the software, but I also wanted to secure the supply chain, the component, and the hardware part of our appliances. Now, the second thing, let me give you the example that we did in Open RAN. When the interfaces are open, I asked my team, I said, we have a really amazing opportunity. Why don't we put private certificate licenses on every interface, hindering the ability of any third-party company that could come in, whether it is wanted attack or unwanted attack. The ability for you to come into our system today is practically impossible. Of course, there is no 100% secure system, but I feel comfortable that I have 100% visibility. I feel super confident that I have implemented, to the best of our capability, the zero trust architecture into the DNA. We have abstracted user IDs, passwords. Those are gone. Those are things of the past. I could not do all of this with legacy architecture. So I do think that someone should be able to take what we have done, advance it. And in fact, now what we are doing is not to make this only a Rakuten story, but to go to the industry as a whole, to go to the ORAN forum and show them what we have done, especially around securing the most important thing for me in radio and the core component of this cloud network. I am extremely confident about the security apparatus, largely because for the first time ever, we have visibility. That is what you always need to have, 100% visibility, no black boxes, no proprietary interfaces. You need to control everything in your network. You need to be that command and center to address all security architecture in the network. And Rakuten Symphony is one of the few companies that deliver that absolutely trusted delivery model with 100% security. Zero trust architecture is inherited in the DNA of our platforms.
And there's also the sustainability argument, the green argument, that perhaps your approach is more expensive in terms of energy and power consumption.
Well, I think this topic around sustainability is a really important topic for all of us. I think now when you look at Rakuten, we have really set a very big ambition and goal for us for what we want to achieve for energy sustainability. When you look at our platform and our products, one should evaluate not just only how much our hardware consumes, but you should ask, it's a total formula that includes the hardware, the number of operational engineers, and the headcount that is needed to maintain and manage this network, the cars that they use to go to cell sites, and the various supporting mechanism in terms of other organization that is needed to run a network like Rakuten Mobile. First, we have one of the most advanced energy orchestration system that allows you to tune the software on our servers and infrastructure, lowering its footprint of consumption based on traffic. This is not possible on legacy architecture. Second, this network has one of the lowest headcounts that you would find in any telecommunication network. As our number of total sites on air increases, and in fact, we've announced this, that we now have over 200,000 cells on air, our operational headcount has been flat, around 180 individuals managing 200,000 cells. This is a world-breaking record. We don't employ that much employees to go manage and maintain the sites. We think when you look at the totality of energy consumption, I have no doubt this is one of the lowest that you would find in any traditional or legacy telecom network. But what would I tell you? I would love to invite the industry as a whole to help me study the energy footprint of Rakuten Mobile Network as a whole, not just only focusing on the sum of small components. And let us use this as a case to really validate this cloud, this software architecture combined with an unbelievable headcount efficiency deliver on better energy sustainability targets than legacy equipment do today. We welcome anybody to come to Japan and really participate into this evaluation process. So I look forward to having people discuss this topic with me. This is a very, very important topic for myself and my team to ensure that we're building an absolutely highly efficient network that is sustainable in its DNA and architecture.
We should absolutely do that. Finally, Tareq, I want to go back to a point that I raised at the start of our discussion today, and that was a challenge you have for the industry, because it's easy for CSPs to sit back and ignore the changes until it's too late. It's far harder to proactively respond to them and explain your actions to the board. So tell us why you're so passionate about your approach. What questions should other CSPs be asking themselves right now?
You know, I mean, what I would encourage my colleagues to look at is please just look at your adjacent industries. Broaden your horizon and look what is happening across this world that we live in. I spend enormous time, believe me, researching, and especially an interesting area, which is the transformation that is happening in the auto industry. And in the essence of, the shortage of chipset supplies and the reasons behind that is because we now have adjacent industry that is consuming unprecedented supply of chipsets for their software that they need to run their platform on. The more you realize that the world is fast moving towards an autonomous world, a software world, a world that the AI takes an absolute presence, this transformation is now happening much faster than, unfortunately, all of us want it to be, but it's a reality. So you have two options. One option is you sit and watch, and unfortunately, you might miss this journey, or you take a decisive action and you really say, time is now. Now it is a decisive way to look at opportunities of partnership and collaboration. Take some risk. It's okay. It will be hard work. It will not be perfect. You're going to go through ups and downs, but I think, working with the right partners, hopefully with Rakuten Symphony, you will find us that we are really passionate about changing the construct of how telco networks are built, engineered, and operated. I think time is of the essence, that we really look at ourselves and we embrace risk and transformation at a much faster pace maybe than what we have done in the past. There are absolutely many companies that are looking at how to support this journey. Rakuten Symphony would love to be one of those leading providers to provide you the expertise, not only on software platform, but really on innovation around organization and skill sets that one might need to look at to help through this phase of transformation.
You make your points very clearly, and thank you for your frank and detailed responses. It's been a fascinating discussion. Tareq, thank you very much indeed for joining us.